Close your eyes for a moment. Listen. That sound, faint but undeniable, is the echo of time slipping through your fingers. Every second is a decision. Every breath is a vote for the life you want, or the life you'll regret. And right now, in this very heartbeat, you stand at the edge of two futures. One future is familiar, predictable routines, excuses polished to perfection, the quiet ache of dreams postponed until someday. The other future is untamed, a path you carve with calloused hands and relentless action. It is uncertain, it is demanding, and it is the only path worth walking. People talk about motivation as if it were magic. They wait for it, pray for it, try to bottle it like lightning. But motivation is a fragile flame. It dies when the wind blows. Discipline, unyielding, steady, unstoppable, is the furnace that never goes out. Tonight, I'm not here to offer comfort. I'm here to wake something ancient and unstoppable within you. The part of you that remembers you were born for more than a paycheck and a handful of weekends. You have a choice. Stay asleep in a life that barely stirs your blood, or open your eyes, stand tall, and claim the life that's been waiting for you to fight for it. This is not a speech. It's an ignition. The hardest battle you will ever fight is the one with your own reflection. Think about the mirror. It shows everything you can't hide. The late nights wasted scrolling, the promises whispered to yourself and broken before sunrise, the weight of unrealized potential staring back at you in silent judgment. Many people avoid mirrors for that reason, not because they dislike their face, but because they fear the truth beneath it. I was there once. Maybe you are there now, standing at a crossroads whispering, "Tomorrow I'll start. Tomorrow I'll change." But tomorrow is a thief. It steals today's power.
Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine, let's call him Daniel, spent years waiting for the right moment to pursue his dream of launching a business. He researched, planned, filled notebooks with ideas, but each day ended the same. No action. One evening, after yet another long shift at a job he hated, he looked in the bathroom mirror and barely recognized the man staring back. That night he made a single decision: start before he felt ready. He woke the next morning at 5 a.m., not because he was motivated, but because he was tired of being haunted by the reflection of wasted potential. Within a year, the business existed, not perfect, but alive. Here's the lesson. The mirror doesn't lie. It reflects not only your body, but your choices, your discipline, your courage or lack thereof. You may not like what you see today. That's not a verdict, it's an invitation. When you face yourself honestly, you begin to dismantle the illusions. You stop blaming the traffic, the weather, your childhood, or the universe. You realize you are the common denominator in every disappointment, and that's good news. Because if you are the problem, you are also the solution.
Inside each of us lives a quiet saboteur, the inner voice that whispers, "Rest a little longer. You deserve a break before you've even begun." What difference will one skipped day make? It sounds gentle, almost caring, but it's poison. One skipped day becomes two. Two becomes a habit. Soon, months blur, and you wake to find a year gone with nothing to show but excuses. To silence that voice, you need a plan sharper than your doubts. Write it down. Simple, clear, unavoidable. Wake up at the time you promised. Move even when the bed feels like a warm ocean trying to pull you back under.
The first step doesn't have to be heroic. It just has to be real. People think discipline means endless suffering, a life of joyless grind. They're wrong. Discipline is freedom wearing a stern face. Think of an athlete training before dawn. The alarm rings at 4:30 a.m. The world sleeps. Muscles ache. The cold bites. To outsiders, it looks like misery. But to the athlete, discipline is the key to the dream. Because every repetition builds a bridge to a future no one else can see. Discipline isn't punishment. It's a promise you keep to yourself. And here's the secret. Motivation follows discipline, not the other way around. Action creates inspiration, not the other way around. So, when you don't feel like writing, write. When you don't feel like running, run. When you don't feel like showing up, show up. That is the quiet magic of discipline. It transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary power.
Maybe you're thinking, this all sounds great, but my situation is different. My obstacles are bigger. Listen carefully. Every person you admire, every entrepreneur, athlete, artist started exactly where you are. Unprepared, scared, uncertain. The difference? They faced the mirror and moved anyway. Your turning point will not arrive with fireworks. It will come on a normal Tuesday when you decide, finally, to stop negotiating with fear. You will wake up. You will put on your shoes. You will begin. And when you do, the mirror will slowly change. Not because your face changes overnight, but because your eyes will carry a new light, a quiet confidence that cannot be faked. This is the beginning, the moment you stop waiting. The moment you take the first real step toward the life you were born to live.
It is the unseen engine behind every masterpiece, every championship, every revolution of the human spirit. Think of the greatest builders of history. They were not propelled by endless excitement. They were powered by an unshakable routine. Long before applause ever echoed their names, they woke before dawn, laid stone upon stone, page upon page, day after day. Motivation flickers, discipline endures, and yet people fear it as if it were a cage. They imagine discipline as a chain of rules, early mornings, strict diets, endless repetition. They picture a life drained of joy, but that is a myth. Discipline is not a cage. It is the key that unlocks every door you dream of opening.
Look closely at anyone truly free. Financially, physically, creatively. Their freedom is built on rituals so steady they seem almost sacred. The musician who practices scales until fingers bleed. The scientist who experiments long after the lab is empty. The parent who chooses patience over anger, day after day. Freedom is not the absence of rules. It is the mastery of self. Without discipline, the world decides for you. Algorithms steal your focus. Distractions drain your time. Impulses burn your resources. With discipline, you reclaim your life from chaos. You choose where each hour goes. You decide which battles matter. You sculpt the person you become.
Discipline is not forged in grand gestures. It is built in the quiet hours no one sees. It begins when the alarm clock cuts through the dark and you have a choice. Roll over into comfort or rise into purpose. It lives in the decision to open a book instead of a browser, to cook a meal that nourishes rather than order what numbs, to work on the craft when no applause waits. Each decision is small, but together they create momentum, a river carving stone. Picture a single drop of water, harmless, weak. Now picture a waterfall that has flowed for centuries. That is discipline. Small choices, relentless over time, reshaping mountains.
There will be pain. Do not run from it. The pain of discipline is sharp but clean. A pain that builds, a pain that transforms. The pain of regret is slow and corrosive, a rust that eats the soul. When you choose discipline, you choose the pain that leads to growth, not the pain that comes from a life half-lived. An athlete feels the burn in the muscles and smiles, because that burn is proof of progress. A writer fights the blank page, knowing every sentence wrestled into existence sharpens the mind. A student stays late in the library, understanding that knowledge is the quiet weapon of the prepared. Pain is not your enemy. It is the price of admission to greatness. We live in an age of endless distraction. Notifications scream for attention. Entertainment flows faster than thought. In such a world, discipline is rebellion. When you set your phone aside, you reclaim your mind. When you block time for focused work, you defy the culture of constant noise. When you say no to parties, to temptations, to the easy path, you say yes to a vision only you can see. Some will not understand. They will call you obsessed, boring, even antisocial. Smile, let them talk. Obsession is just discipline with a dream attached.
Start small. Pick one ritual and guard it fiercely. Wake at the same time every day. Spend the first hour on something that builds you. Exercise, journaling, learning. Create a sacred space where distractions cannot follow. As you master one ritual, add another. Soon your day becomes a fortress. Not rigid, not joyless. A fortress built to protect what truly matters. Consider the morning routine of a great martial artist. Before sunrise, he sweeps the dojo floor. Not because it is dirty, but because it centers the mind. He bows to the empty room, acknowledging the journey ahead. Then he trains, kicks, strikes, balance, thousands of times, perfecting the smallest motion until the body remembers what the mind envisions. This is discipline. It is not about the sweep of the floor. It is about honoring the process until the process becomes you. Discipline breeds confidence. Confidence is not a gift. It is earned through the quiet triumph of showing up. When you keep the promises you make to yourself, you build trust with the person in the mirror. Each kept promise is a brick. Each small victory is mortar. Soon you stand inside a fortress of self-belief no one can tear down. This is why the disciplined walk differently. Their eyes carry a light that can't be faked. They know deep down they will do the work regardless of applause or criticism.
Right now, the world is full of people waiting for inspiration to strike like lightning. But lightning is rare. Discipline is daily. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need perfect conditions. You need to begin. Choose a time. Choose a place. Show up tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, until the habit becomes part of your identity. Discipline is not punishment. It is love, the purest love for the life you are capable of living. And when you embrace it, the world bends quietly in your direction.
Strings and percussion entwined in a sweeping crescendo. Look back over this journey, facing the mirror, embracing discipline, dancing with fear, holding strength with kindness.
These are not separate lessons.
They are one path, your path. The world will try to lull you back to sleep. It will offer comfort, distraction, easy applause. But you have heard the deeper call. You know now that every second is a decision. Every day is a vote for the person you are becoming. So here is the final invitation. Stand up, take one step, then another. Write the book, start the business, run the mile, make the call. Say the words you've held inside. Do not wait for perfect timing. Do not wait for permission. Life will never present a flawless moment wrapped in a bow. The mirror is ready. Discipline is waiting. Fear will follow, but courage walks beside you. Strength and kindness will light the road. When you rise, you inspire silent witnesses you may never meet. A younger sibling, a stranger scrolling through a feed, a future version of yourself. Your story becomes proof that greatness is not luck. It is a choice repeated daily. This Peter's your time. Not tomorrow, now. Take the first step and keep stepping until the world can no longer ignore the sound of your relentless march. Then a whisper, rise.